Hey guys, this is Woody the Unexceptional Gamer, and welcome to Tactical Tuesday, a weekly series that's not about great gameplay, but instead gameplay that we can learn from. This is actually, I think, the worst gameplay on my hard drive, but it seemed to have the most learning experiences in it, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. Anyway, on this map, we like the A spawn, and we got the C, so what we're trying to do is push forward and get the C. Interesting that guy died, I didn't even get an assist, but back on topic. I'm using an unsilenced, I think this is an ACR, I can't even tell for sure, but normally in this game, I prefer the silenced weapons. Something about Modern Warfare 3, they've gone out of their way for fast-paced gun-on-gun action, and that's a critical thing, right? This game's not about air support, this game's not about anything but gun-on-gun action and fast-paced. So what happened is they changed the spawns so that it's not uncommon at all to spawn right next to the other guy. They changed the map flow. Like normally you have these three main channels that take you from one side of the map to the other. In Modern Warfare 3, there's not. It's just craziness. This map in particular has, like, you know, every route you could possibly imagine taking. So a silenced weapon is way better because you never know when a bad guy is going to be right next to you. So we're working our way from A to B. I like to do that from right here. The call out for this area is boobies. And from boobies, I get this position of advantage as I push forward to B dom. You know, domination, of course, is all about map control. It's about owning 2/3 of the map and keeping your opponent in that last third in their own spawn. And if you want to push forward, you can do it through bar, but I have a hard time advancing sort of out of the bar without dying. But from boobies, you can kill guys at Soda Machine, which is, you know, in that corner there. You can kill guys on B-Dom, and you know, you can get the map control. Oh, let's watch that part again. Now, sometimes I'll have a hater who says, when Woody says control the engagement, he really just means camping. And no, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is setting up gunfights so that they are to your advantage. Now, what happens is I come running around this corner, just my mind is set on ADON. That's all I can think about. I've got grenades in my hand. I'm ready to go. And I don't notice this guy until, you know, a second or two later. And what I do, rather than just face him in a straight up gunfight where he has that cover, you see he's kind of head glitching off of that plant structure thing. I don't know what to call it. I start doing the same thing as we get in this gunfight, and it works out to my advantage. Let's see it play out. So I don't spot this guy right away. I'd already decided to throw my nade. Once I do, I get the nade off and I slide behind so that I can head glitch like he is, right? So now when we start this gunfight, hit your target, Woody, I have cover just like he has cover, and it evens up the odds. When I'm talking about controlling the engagement, I'm not talking about waiting in the corner for somebody to come along. I'm talking about setting up gunfights so that they work to your advantage. And you know, here I'm bouncing in and for and on and off the A flag, trying to stay alive, not get naded, etc. It's a tough balance. Like, you know, I really don't care about my KD, but I do care about winning, and you know, sometimes you push forward so hard, you do a risky thing and it works out. Other times you're like, man, all you did is give that guy a point towards his point streak, and you didn't save any time by, you know, getting a death along the way, right? You can't die fast enough to play this game well. You know, you have to stay alive to get your stuff done. So there's a balance between camping and staying alive and getting your work done. I thought I spotted a guy in the bar, but I'm still not sure what happened there. So I'm working my way up towards rubble. We have BC. This is not my favorite setup, but in this map it's not quite as lopsided as it could be in other maps. Trying to hold B out there. Moving on, there's a nice little sequence here, right? They're spawning inside the building up top there, and I'm trying to, I guess, lock them in there, hold BC, maybe even push forward towards A. And again, it's another example of controlling the engagement. I'm keeping my target to shoot at much lower than theirs. I'm trying to clear them out and advance map control over to ADOM. And it's going pretty well for a little bit, dodging nades, getting my shots on target, getting a little bit of work done. The challenge I had here was that it wasn't a silenced weapon. I think I would have lasted, you know, heck, maybe towards a helicopter. I'm not sure what my other streaks are. But at airstrike, oh, I certainly could have lasted at least one more had I been silenced. But because there's a dot on the screen, everybody knows that what's going on. Everyone was popping out of that door, just waiting to take me out. And this line of sight is a good one, but it's not the line of sight that I want to stress. It's watching other people play, watching your kill cams. Watching your kill cam is especially important when the map is new or when you're a new player, right? If you've played this game a lot, most of the time you don't need to watch your kill cam. Most of the time you can just know exactly what happened to you and get back in the game and join your party. But if you're new to the game, or if you're new to the map, then watching the kill cam and figuring out which line of sight did you in is a really good idea. And another thing I want to point out, I don't know if you observed there, as we were taking ADOM, I was throwing stuns and nades towards the the direction from which I thought they would come. I think they only had B at the time, so I was throwing them down the stairs and shutting that door. And that's something I talk about in Tactical Tuesday all the time. Close the door. When you know what direction they're going to be coming from, when you have a good idea what direction the bad guys are going to be coming from, then you can do that. You can shut the door, and that's why we were able to cap that flag. That and the fact that there were a couple of us doing it. But they had no ability to run up those stairs because they're sitting there dodging stuns and nades the entire time. If you have any idea, get a double Woody. Yeah, I've seen this game before. If you have any idea where they're coming from, stun and nade that thing while you're capping a flag. Close the door and don't let them do what they're trying to do. Don't let them have the map that they're looking to have. Don't let them advance toward you. This is your game, and you can shut the door like that. It works out really well. So I got a couple kills in a row there, even though my gun was unsilenced. If my gun was silenced, I think I would have been able to hold some of these positions of advantage, like how I was virtually head glitching off that ramp hill rubble thing, or at the crates there as they rush out the door towards ADOM. If you have a silence weapon, then you can sort of keep those positions of advantage for a much longer time than you can when you have a red dot. Red dots, I mean, they get me killed. The only time red dots I think are really nice is sometimes I like them in free-for-all, because in free-for-all, it's like ringing the dinner bell. That's a Wings of Redemption thing. You ring that dinner bell, and they run right to you, and it's fantastic. Sometimes you need the traffic. Sometimes silence is good in free-for-all too, but you can't win free-for-all unless you get enough traffic, and an unsilenced weapon will make sure that people come toward you. All right, did you see what happened there? I got into a gunfight with multiple bad guys. And, you ever watch YouTube videos and say, like, how does he consistently beat 2 or 3 people at a time when he's in gunfights? And let me tell you the trick. First of all, it's not as consistent as it may seem. A lot of these great YouTubers that drop Moabs all the time have a 2KD. So while it looks like they always go 102 and 0 or something like that, they don't. But the other part of it, see, if I was silenced, I think it would have lasted longer. The other part of it is that it's okay to get into a gunfight with 2 bad guys when those 2 bad guys are right next to you. That's okay. That might work out. But if you get into a gunfight with 2 or 3 bad guys and they're down range and they're not right next to you, then you're probably going to die. That's the trick, and you need to know. I'm going to say it again, even though I guess it's fairly been said. If they're down range, you really don't want to get into a fight with 2 people, or especially 3, like I did in that death, a minute ago that I'm still talking about. What you really want to do is clear it out, B-Don, get some Woody. What you really want to do is get into those multi-gun fights with people who are right next to you, unless you've got some sort of super head glitch and you're hard to kill. That's the trick. Engaging multiple bogeys is okay if you're right next to them. Get your C4 out of here, kid. Is it just me, or does C4 suck to die from? Like, I don't know. Something about C4s and RPGs, even though I understand intellectually they're not like this huge advantage, emotionally, I just hate getting C4'd and such. I don't know. I think I hear White Boy say, "What are you doing, stupid?" as I die. That's what happens in my head. So, but back to Tactical Tuesday. Let's talk about things that are going right and things that are going wrong here. So we have AB, and I don't really like what I was doing there, so I got out. Those were just fair fights, right? That was me standing wide open against them standing wide open. And in this game, fair fights is not what you're looking to set up. You're gonna have a 1 KD if you get in fair fights, which for some of you sounds horrible, and for some of you sounds kind of nice. I couldn't quite get down quick enough. I think there we go. if you set up fair fights, you're not gonna it's gonna be hard to ever earn a pave low. It's gonna be hard for things to really work out like you want them to. What you want to do is set up unfair fights, and I've done this in game battles especially. If I see I'm in a gunfight and things are okay, get out of that gunfight. Those odds aren't good enough. You're trying to. If you die, it should be because you knowingly took a risk. If you die, it should be because I ran out of bullets there. It should be because, like, you made a conscious decision to, take a risk in order to hold a flag, in order to cap a flag, in order to do your thing. It shouldn't be because stuck, baby. It shouldn't be because you're just hoping for the best. You're hoping to out-aim everybody. That's not a good reason to die. So this game is going pretty well here. We've got them triple capped, and we're at 180. And we were able to hold that triple cap on A. That's what they were threatening. And triple capping isn't usually what you want to do in a pub match. Get it, Woody? In a pub match, you typically want to hold two and then lock them into their spawn. I think everybody sort of knows this. But in game battles, things can change a little bit. In game battles, it can be okay to triple cap sometimes, but not in a pub match, which is what this is. So here we are, we're wrapping up. Give me some feedback on how you feel about Tactical Tuesday. What you think. Sometimes the negative feedback I get is, Woody, I'm worried that you're not good enough to teach me. And I think that's bad. Like, you criticize the advice, not necessarily the player. If I were to look at all my coaches I've had throughout my swimming career and say, dude, I could beat you in a race, you're unworthy to coach me, that would be ridiculous. They were very worthy to coach me. I learned a ton from them. So there it is. That's objective play. You see the guy below me, strong player, had 15 more kills and fewer points. That's play the objective, baby. That's how I do it. So anyway, yeah, let me know what you think of Tac Tuesday. All right, if you're still here, perhaps I've earned your like. 2 videos you may have missed. The left one from this morning, dinner with the gamer tags. I just started rolling while we were having dinner together to, I don't know, sometimes I'm interested in what people's lives are like. Like, if other YouTubers were to do this, it catches my interest. So I thought I'd share my house with you. And on the right is Mail Monday. Always a big video. This one, there's a guy who like legit has a pedophile as a father, which is kind of scary. Another guy who has an emotional affair, cheating on his ex of 7 years. And then the last one talking about making friends, which I thought was especially relevant because so many of you have like joined new schools at this time of year. So check out those 2 videos and have a good day. Oh, and don't forget, if you're new around here, you can see more by clicking subscribe in the top right corner.